Ryan Reaves and Tom Wilson, rivals that equally despise each other, will be playing within the same division this upcoming season. As the Rangers answered the call to try and toughen up, they decided that bringing in Reaves was the ultimate solution. Therefore, for those who are new to the bad blood between these two, I'm going to give a brief summary of their past altercations and what transpired to allow for Reaves to be needed in the Big Apple. And with that, here is how and why the rivalry between Reaves and Wilson will be renewed next season. Once Tom Wilson entered the league after being drafted 16th overall in 2012 by the Washington Capitals, quickly became acquainted with a player who was able to give him a legitimate run for his money in the ring. As Ryan Reaves, who was beginning to build his own similar reputation in the NHL, saw Wilson as the prime opponent to rattle and take down when possible. The two first engaged during Wilson's rookie year, during Reaves' time spent in St. Louis. After number 75 had a brief stay in Pittsburgh that brought forth no engagements with his biggest rival, the opportunity quickly presented itself during the Knights' debut season, as they were pitted up against Alex Ovechkin and the Capitals in the Stanley Cup Finals, a series that sent the intensity to a whole new level. Even though the matchup only lasted the extent of 5 games, it still featured a plethora of chirps, shoves, and jabs between the two. But despite only versing each other twice a year afterwards, the distaste that Wilson and Reaves emanated for one another never went away. In fact, it was during his first return to Sin City since winning the Stanley Cup that Wilson unknowingly would be prematurely leaving the game after receiving a punishing blow from Reaves mid-frame. After finding multiple ways to taunt his opponent throughout, Reaves has proven to the hockey world that he hasn't been afraid to engage one of the league's most feared on ice. As it was especially last season that feared and Wilson were two words that the New York Rangers quickly began to associate with one another. After already forming some adequate distaste for their formidable opponent, the Rangers decided to send Brendan Lemieux to the Los Angeles Kings. This in turn turned out to be a grave mistake that would allow for the controversial events to take place unchallenged. Not long after, during the first week of May earlier this year, Wilson sparked a massive line brawl after he decided to severely punish a vulnerable player for getting too close to his netminder. And if it wasn't for Artemi Panarin trying to defend his teammate, well, the real horror may have never transpired, but Wilson decided to body slam the breadman and then taunt the team from the penalty box. Therefore, considering that these events prompted the Rangers franchise to make some drastic changes, looking back for Chris Drury, he most likely didn't want to repeat the mistake of his predecessor. Hence, the Rangers trading for Ryan Reaves and later signing him to a 1-year deal. So as much as we never want to see any player injured in a fight, that one game, as violent as it was, set the stage for future entertainment on the horizon, as we all know that these two will have some unfinished business to attend to this coming season.
Thought he was just looking at his pass and ran into a line in the jungle. You know, if he sees me, I know he's going to try and lay me out, and I'm not going to let that happen, so.
What are you gonna do? You! Ah! Yeah, right! Yeah, right!
It's involved with Wilson. Yeah. They're jawing at one another.
I'm sure nobody likes getting knocked over and laughed at.